Morning guys, and welcome to the vlog. Today's vlog is all about these crazy tanks behind me, which we refer to as the mirror tanks. They have such an incredible story. These guys came into our lives when this aquarium wasn't even an aquarium. If you go way back and remember when it used to be a thrift store.
Crap, that was the one wall I was hoping they'd keep.
When we started gutting it, these guys were here before any of that even started.
We won't see these beautiful tanks again in all their glory until the construction is done and we're actually setting them on their stands in the place that they need to go. That's gonna be a while.
So how did we get these tanks, and why the heck did we get them so early?
We moved these in before the demo even started.
I know, we had to literally move them 10, 15 times.
It all started from that original trip that Brian and I took down to Texas to see this awesome bridge tank and the giant jelly cylinder right here. That's what that whole thing was about. And then we also were looking to see if there was any other kind of things that maybe he might have that we could possibly put in the aquarium.
We made it to Dallas. And our first stop is going to be the Children's Aquarium in Dallas to meet up with a guy named Chris that might help us with the aquarium design.
He's ready.
Now we actually are off to go look at these giant tanks. And like I mentioned, we have some giant enclosures that we're looking at here. Take a look at how beautiful this one is. This is actually 5-foot circle and it's actually 8 foot tall. Just trying to get those statement things. This may be one of the first exhibits that we actually buy for the aquarium, but that's not all. Yes, on the new exhibit. And then look at this beast here. Definitely looking at this one. This is actually 8-foot cylinder, 8 foot tall. It's not on a stand, so it'd be just as tall as that one. And then see this one right over here? That's actually a 6-foot cylinder there, but there would be actually 2 of those 6-foot cylinders, and then this is what they call a bridge tank. So it would actually sit up top, so you would have an aquarium on this side, bridge over your head, and an aquarium on that side. Absolutely wonderful. Look at all of these cylinders here. Gosh, it's really got my blood flowing. This enclosure here in particular, definitely got to add that to the place. Wow, it seems like things are actually moving along.
We get home from that amazing trip, and probably somewhere around 2 weeks later, we get a phone call from Rogers. I got a line and a couple really cool tanks I think you guys might want. Of course, Brian being Brian is like, who's gonna pass up on these amazing, huge, double bullnose tanks, I believe at the time is what he had called those. There was only one hitch. They were actually located in California at the time. Do we have them just shipped down to Texas and he holds them for us with the other tanks he had, or do we ship them directly to us? For the amount that that shipping was gonna be, Brian and I agreed it's better to just ship once, but there was a problem. We didn't have an aquarium. We had a big, open thrift store full of a bunch of garbage that we didn't even know what was going on. And we had to figure out where we were going to put these and what we were gonna do and how we were gonna protect them. How is all that even gonna work? I'll let the crew give you that story.
It is so crazy to see these tanks, not just with water in them, that's crazy, but to be honest, just to even see them on stands with filtration under them. It feels like just yesterday we were trying to get them inside of the building, literally not knowing how we're gonna move them, not knowing how we're gonna do anything. I'm like, come off of a truck. Everything was so stressful. You know, one thing about Dad, we always got stuff done, but never really the best plan.
Today I have a couple aquariums that are showing up brand new worth $250,000, and they'll be arriving anytime. All I know is that by the end of the day, those tanks need to be inside that building. First, you have to load them onto a truck, drive them all the way across country. You're gonna hit some bumpy roads, and then hopefully, with any luck, they'll arrive. And guess what? They just arrived. And you can see these stands right here. They're big and beefy. They have to hold about 10,000 pounds. But I'm here to see the tank. And with every strap that he undoes, gets one step closer to seeing what these things actually look like. Here it is, guys, the very first glimpse of the tanks. Woo, these things look amazing.
You can hear bubbles. I don't think I've ever seen a tank this big besides an actual aquarium. We're next.
That's right, Mike, we're next. But not without a ton of hard work from the crew and I. Just moving these stands showed how difficult it was gonna be.
Real careful here.
Ready? But we weren't ready. This little crack was gonna cause us problems all day. What's gonna happen when there's 5,000-pound tanks?
So much better to see the other side of the forks.
Slow down, Jay. There's still a ton that could go wrong.
One more tilt.
Hard to pick up.
Very, very happy.
We're on the ground. The question is, are they gonna move? Do you think you'll be able to move them?
Probably not. We'll try.
Oh, why did I do this? Should have just stuck with reptiles. We're actually stuck on this piece here. This tank is so heavy. We got 5 of us pushing and still stuck on this lip. It's got to get in now. Can you take it back? I think that's something I'm going to be saying a lot here in the coming months.
There's probably a better plan, but I wouldn't have it any other way. Honestly, it was great memories. And now some of the first tanks that were in here, now gonna be one of the first tanks that have fish in it.
I know we're doing a little bit of a recap video, but there is still so much going on here every single day. The Marine Predator tank is pretty much filled to the top and it looks absolutely amazing, but that is not all. We have a huge surprise. But first, let me show you one more thing.
What are you up to, dude?
Watching water fill.
For Stingray?
For Stingray. Dumping around 3,000 gallons right now.
Another 3,000?
Another 3,000, I don't know. At least 2.
Guys, that's not the big surprise. This is the big surprise. Let's go get Lori and check it out. Also, they are continuing to bust out the floors. I kind of like the black. It's looking so good already. I cannot imagine what it's gonna look like with the actual finish on it, but continue progress over here on the Reptarium side and up at the front by the gift shop counter.
Whoa, 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 whoa. It's
Oh my,
Look at look at.
oh!
Lori, what do you think?
I think it's good. I think everybody likes it. I think there's a vibe. We got our own little rave room.
So good.
It's so good. Oh, you don't want to hug.
Guys, we have an aquarium.
With water.
With water!
We had an aquarium for a while, but with water.
I think you actually need the water.
We had a rarium.
Yeah, we had a aquarium.
Yeah, we didn't have no aqua.
I remember when we got those tanks, we actually had, no! And thankfully, we had a little forklift because those tanks weigh a lot. When we had to roll them in the building, there were still glass doors, so we had to open those, tile, and then carpet. Of course, the dollies didn't work, and every time we put pressure on the dollies, they snapped in half. So we got the PVC, and then we had to do the Egyptian roll. Ow! 2 people running to the front, and then we had to continue rolling it, but the second the tank stopped, the momentum was lost. And then we all had to jump on the back again and push it again. We had to do that 2 times, so one's a little bit longer. So as we're doing it, we finally get the one in, and then Brian's like, I don't want to leave him right here because we got the first one and then we stopped. And then we got the second one in the door and we stopped. And then my tennis shoes that I had at the time, from pushing on the tank that hard, I literally tore apart the soles of my shoes. Brian thought it was the funniest thing. I didn't find it very funny because tennis shoes are expensive and I already go through enough. God, Kush is heavy.
Definitely making progress, but it's so scary watching this unfold, and this is about as far as the plan can take us. As far as we can get with the bucket loader, so I already broke one dolly, completely broke. The wheel's actually bent off. Now it's just manpower and hope we can get this sucker in.
Careful, careful, stop. There we go. Let's get it on the run. Yeah.
The weight of this tank literally crushed the wheels. These are supposed to be rated for 1,000 pounds a piece. We have 5 of them, so 5,000 pounds. So this is obviously more than 5,000 pounds. But we've got a second idea. We're gonna do it like the Egyptians.
So much better.
Here, let me move it back a little bit. Watch your fingers.
I've watched a ton of Egyptian stuff, and isn't it interesting that thousands of years later, we're basically using the same technique that they used to move stones to move these 5,000 pound tanks.
And then Brian just like left.
Guys worked hard while I was out at Home Depot, but it didn't come without a price.
No problem. One corner we kind of cracked it.
Get out of here, really?
I'm just kidding.
Oh boy, I lose my mind. And now we're on a roll. We're learning how to work like the Egyptians.
Looks pretty small in here, though.
Watch out, wait. Got You need more?
Whew, I'm out of breath just thinking about it.
Guys, and don't forget, we are hoping that we can get Detroit Lions to sponsor this tank. Again, I know I say it all the time. Imagine how cool it would be. Detroit Lions, pictures, autographs, memorabilia.
Amy, watch out.
Lionfish. God, I love it here.
Oh, no way, dude. Oh my god. Is that not so sweet?
Oh my gosh, that is so awesome.
Oh my god. Oh, look at it over here. This is so sick.
Stand. 14 stand.
A huge shout out to Blue Grizzly. They have done all of the stands for the Legacy Aquarium. A lot of work has gone into all this stuff, not only the welding and stuff, but powder coating, all that. Wow, this looks great. I can't wait to see the quarantine tank set up on there. That's gonna be awesome. And it fits like a glove. That's crazy. Quarantine's gonna be back here at the back of the house behind the wall tank. Awesome. Thank you, Blue Grizzly. Thanks, Bashy. We appreciate you guys. Go follow all their socials over on Instagram. We are all set up to get fishies. How cool is that?
And then the day came where we had to put these tanks on these stands.
Today we're doing something a lot more tricky. We're not just moving them, but we're putting them on the stands where they're actually gonna be. It's gonna be super cool, but I tell you what, if something goes wrong, like we drop one of these tanks, we're talking about $250,000 worth of tanks here. I don't even know how we're gonna do it, but thankfully we've got Felipe and his team here, and they seem a lot more confident than I do.
You're not ready?
These tanks are absolutely massive, thousands of pounds. It's literally 20-foot, 3-inch thick acrylic. I mean, it literally weighs 2,000 to 3,000 pounds per enclosure, and they're extremely top heavy, so it's really easy for something to go wrong.
Very close.
So far, it's looking good. You're clear here. So far, so good. Now we have to get it over here and then lift it all the way off and get it onto the stand. So that's the tricky part. It's gonna look so freaking cool.
I will never forget that day. I was terrified. So many bad things could happen, and I don't even know how none of them did. I just remember standing right over there, watching from a distance, praying to God that nobody got smashed, that these tanks didn't fall. It was so sketchy. And where was Brian the whole time? Right here.
We had a little bit of a miscommunication where he thought this one went on this side. Literally have to bring it back over, set it down. But so far, at least, the tank hasn't fallen. Now we're just trying to line it up where basically it sits on the stand properly. At least it hasn't tipped over. The forklift seems to be working. Definitely pretty stressful, but gosh, it's so close. Felipe's team is just running around like crazy. They're double and triple checking everything because if one thing goes wrong, it's an absolute disaster. These guys are pros. They know exactly what they're doing. You can see that they are really, really cautious because if something goes wrong, they don't want to have to eat $250,000 worth of tanks. So I appreciate their help, but boy, oh boy, this is stressful. Okay, it's in the air, it's in the air. You can go down.
Hey, go down. Go down.
Felipe,
Go down.
what happened? Felipe, you're supposed to Lori's here.
What happened, Kyle?
We're not perfectly lined up with this tank is not perfectly lined up with the stand.
Oh no. So the tank isn't level. It's like off a little bit. So we literally have to lift back up, straighten the tank out, and get it back onto the stands.
I will never forget, but somehow it worked out and they got on the stands.
And then a couple of months back, Bashy actually came over here to install some of his custom filtration underneath this enclosure. And these things look absolutely nuts. And believe it or not, it spans the entire system. So it's like 20 to 30 feet of filtration. You guys know Bashy makes the most amazing filtration. Go follow his Instagram over at BashyUSA. Go check out all the awesome stuff he's doing. He's got a million companies over there. Wow, yeah, it was crazy. And here's that clip now.
No way they can get removed. You know, so everything, even the skimmer and the bioreactor had to be put inside and then slid into place because once they're underneath, physically you won't be able to remove these. We'll put the lid back on. Just make sure you don't slide it. Ooh, that's close. I think it will go.
We might have to take that lid off.
That's so close. Oh, dude, it can't get any closer. Come on. Yeah, enough to work. Honestly, this has been the biggest pain so far to build. Once it's all assembled, it's all put together, it's gonna be one of my favorites. We just put it in backwards. All that for nothing. Put it in backwards.
Pretty much pros now. Practice makes perfect.
Yeah, a lot of practice on that one.
Bashy hit his head, the things didn't fit, we had to pull him out, we put him in the wrong way, a million things went wrong. In the end, all went right. Filtration's hooked up, it's running, and the tanks are looking clearer by the minute. I know it looks cool over here now with all the fish tanks and the Bermuda Triangle touch tank, but for over a year, this was a vacant area where the mirror tanks actually lived. Right behind this wall over here, they touched up against the wall and stuck out about 20 feet, had tarps covered over them, and we had to demo the entire building around those tanks. You have to take the ceiling down, so we'd have to move the tanks over, and you don't want to scratch them. It was chaos for the entire time, and it's crazy to see this place come together like it is. It almost seems like such a distant, fake memory. Those mirror tanks sat over there for over a year and a half while we demoed the entire building.
All that work, all that stress, everything that went into these amazing tanks behind us, it's just another great story, and it means so much. And I hope that when you guys come and visit and you look at this gorgeous exhibit, that you'll know and remember the story behind it, because that makes it even more special, right? It's not just, oh, we bought a tank and then it got delivered. It's a whole story in and of itself, and I can't wait for the day where you guys come and you get to actually see and touch it yourself.
Hope you guys enjoyed today's video. If you did, there's a playlist that you can watch all kinds of videos. You can also hit that subscription button. It would mean a lot to me. Also, hit that like button while you're down there. Have a wonderful day, Reptile Army. Remember, be kind to someone, and I promise I'll see you in the next one.